You gotta go on his Instagram.
You guys are live.
What's up, everybody? Steve here with Mike.
What's going on?
Getting ready to go full in on the city of Philadelphia. I got so many complaints.
I'm actually a little nervous about this.
Let's get this started.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Steve Lybrand.
Mikey and Randy.
We're doing it professional.
Why not?
You're listening to the SaRcast. Back with an all-new episode.
Yeah.
So I've been teasing it all day. I got a list. I got a laundry list of grapes.
I'm definitely a little nervous about this one.
Why?
I don't know. It's not.
Don't
really...
look at the list.
All right, I won't. I'll just let you go. Go ahead.
No. This is stuff that you're going to agree with.
Okay.
So I'll start off. First off, my sciatic is killing me. And that's how I know that I'm like getting old and grumpy, because I know what my sciatic is and I know how it makes me feel.
You've been old and grumpy, though.
It's true. It's true. So just to start off, a little background about me.
Okay.
So born and raised in Philadelphia, lived there my entire life, up until I turned 36. So I moved out to the suburbs about 5 or 6 years ago. It'll be like 6 years this April.
Right.
Now, I don't live far away from the city. I still have all the access to it. I'm still very, very close. I go into the city all the time. My parents just moved to like the edge of Philadelphia. So they're like just outside. They're like in the Fox Chase area, which is not.
Yeah, that's by me.
Yeah. Same thing with you. You're like right on the edge of it.
Yeah. Far enough away to feel like I'm far enough away.
Right.
But close enough to be in my comfort zone.
Yeah. So Friday night, for those of you guys that don't know, I go out all the time and I do Uber and I do Lyft. So I go into the city very frequently and I see a lot of stuff. And Friday night, I don't know what it was, just in a grumpy mood. And like a bunch of shit hit me all at once. And I was just like, dude, I fucking hate it here. And like, I talk to people that come in from out of town all the time. And I ask them, like, did you see this? Like, you know, what brought you here? And usually it's on business or whatever. And they're like, I kind of wanted to get into the city, but I'll be okay that I missed it. And like, it always hits me that like, we have nothing here in our city to attract anybody from a tourist standpoint, except for like the historical shit, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're a Philly guy your whole life as well. Nate,
Absolutely.
I think you grew up just outside the city, right?
No.
No,
I'm Philly.
Where out in Philly did you grow up at?
I got food in my mouth. Let me get back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Philly guy, you know, born and raised Northeast Philly most of my life. But, you know, being involved in so many different aspects of different things, I've been everywhere and got to experience a lot of our city, different environments and atmospheres and stuff. So I'm pretty well versatile. Now,
change is inevitable. No matter where you are, you're always going to be pushing forward. The city's going to change as technology changes, as shit changes. But some of this stuff, like I look at and I go, you're changing shit and you're making stuff different in the city for no reason.
Right.
Like there's no relevant reason for what you're doing it. And the reasons that you're giving are bullshit. And anybody with like a third grade education can figure it out. So the first thing is, so I'm out and I'm driving and I pull over to stop and I go to Wawa. I'm at the Wawa downtown. It's the new Super Wawa.
I was about to say the super one, right?
Yeah. It was at 6th and Walnut.
Yep.
So just to get back, where did you grow up at, Nate?
So I grew up in West Philly, 48th and Hazel.
Okay.
And then I moved to Germantown, Westmount area.
Gotcha. Did your area in West Philly, did it go through gentrification yet?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I lived, I want to say 3 blocks from West Philly High School.
Yeah.
So that whole area right now is completely gentrified. Drexel, all of college, Drexel, University City have pushed to that area.
So we'll get into the gentrification in a few minutes, because that's definitely something that I want to touch on as well. Now, I know, Mike, you jump in and you join in on like a lot of like discussions regarding this because some organizations that you're with, and when we had the riots in the city, you were kind of out there helping protect local businesses, to the best of your ability. Right. So I know that you have some strong feelings in regards to some of this stuff, and I want to try to keep the politics out, but I do want to start off and be straight up. I lived in the city my entire life. I'm a Democrat. I'm a liberal.
Okay.
Now, whether you are or not, that's not really what I'm considering here, because the answer that generally everybody gets if you complain about the city is vote Republican. That's not going to fix the city's issues. It's just not. Now, the people that we are voting in there, dipshits, we should do a better job of vetting the people that are running the city.
They're old, I think is the problem, Steve.
Well, another big thing about the people that we elect, if you look at all of the past mayors that have been in there, they all come from city council. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, in order to get through that process, you have to go through city council, and even the people that are like up for like the next potential mayor, they're all city council people.
Mm-hmm.
So like in order to get there, like you owe these people favors, and then they'll rustle up their district and get them to vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like the streets, the nutters, Kenny, even before, like I think the only one in the last like 50 years that's not from city council is Rendell. But he was still part of the city political machine of being a district attorney prior to being the mayor of the city.
Right.
I necessarily don't think that the issues in the city are 100% Democrat or 100% Republican. I do think that there's middle ground. And I think that we put our backing behind the wrong people 100%.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not big on politics whatsoever. So, I'm just more of a take accountability. Right. I don't really follow politics. I don't really care about politics. I just know what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And, it is what it is. But a lot of people turn a blind eye to a lot of things that is just fucking common sense. And I guess
some of the stuff that they do, it's like a bell you can't unring.
Right.
Like once this politician comes in and puts this bullshit law on the books, you can't unring it.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of this in like the sense of we're saying that, it's woke, or it's, awareness of what's going on. So in regards to what happens, so Friday night I go out and I hit this Wawa, right? So now this is the first thing that I'm going to gripe about. When I go into this Wawa, I order a sandwich, I get a soda, and I get a thing of cupcakes, right? Tasty cakes.
Right.
Can't be from Philadelphia unless you get tasty cakes. Also, there's a reason that I'm as heavy as I am. It's because I like.
I wasn't going to say anything,
it's
but
it's so good. So when I go in there now, I'm not accustomed to this because I'm outside of the city, so I don't really pay attention to all the shit that's going on. But I learned really, really fast. They no longer give you a bag.
Right, you got to buy your bags.
All right. So now
I had my
suppose
first experience this morning about that, and here I am, 4 iced teas, 2 Red Bulls, and a bottle of water, and I'm like, "You want a bag?"
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Like I just walked out looking like I was homeless.
So now Wawa will sell you one of their tote bags for like an extra quarter, and it's not even the quarter that pisses me off. I don't even care. I wouldn't have bought it. I'll carry the stuff out in my hands, but the fact that you found another way to generate revenue that you can tax, because I'm sure that you can tax that. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I don't know.
But now the store owners that are backing this, and I guarantee it's not all of them, but the ones that are, if they go, hey, well, it's because we're being environmentally safe and we're being green, don't bullshit me, buddy. I know exactly why it is, because you don't have to fucking pay for bags anymore. It's a free item that you give away for somebody to carry, that it's an expense to you. You don't want to have to deal with.
Right. I mean, wasn't there a whole law put in place about in the city itself? No more bags. Like they'll do paper bags, but that's on the store, whether or not they'll issue them, but there's like a ban on plastic bags now.
Right.
It's like a city law for whatever reason.
Here's the dumb shit. And this is why like the corporations or the people that are there that don't fight back on it. So here's the dumb shit. So you said this morning, and I went through this myself, that you were carrying out 4 iced teas.
Yeah.
What are the containers the iced teas are made out of?
Plastic.
Right. So I get my soda and I get my cupcakes, and they're wrapped in plastic. They're it's in a plastic bottle. Like you look like an asshole.
Absolutely.
By saying that we're gonna ban plastic bags because it's not bad for the environment, or it's because it's bad for the environment. But I'm going to sell you all of these items that are made in plastic containers, or I'm going to give you this cardboard box, which is also recyclable, and you're going to carry these out in hand because we're woke. You sound like assholes. Like everything that Wawa sells is in a plastic carton.
Yeah.
The plastic carton that they put their fucking hot dogs in, that they have their iced tea containers, their milk, their fruit, everything. It's all in plastic containers.
The only thing that's not in plastic is the breakfast shit.
Right. So like you sound like assholes saying that, oh, we're part of this woke generation that's not going to fucking use plastic bags. And listen, I get it. If you're listening at home, like this isn't that big of a deal, but it's a culmination of so many other things that happen in this city all the time where it's just like, well, we're victims of it and we're just going to sit back and take it. The taxing of soda, the taxing of sugary drinks.
That was fucking stupid.
It's still stupid to this day.
What does it benefit?
Nothing. They said it was going to go to schools. It didn't. It goes into the city fund, which, by the way, if you're listening right now, and these are the people that you're voting for, that city fund, there are more people in the city of Philadelphia. This is true. You can look it up. There are more people that are collecting retirement benefits than there are active workers.
I believe that. I mean, that's one of the reasons I left the city as employment, because by the time I got hired, I came into this fucked up pension plan where they wanted me to work 39 years to receive 100% of my pension, but my pension was now capped at my highest salary,
right?
Where everybody before me is making a percentage of their 3 highest years,
right?
So if you work all the overtime in the world and you get $100,000, you made $100,000 or average $100,000 3 times in your life, in your career, that's what you'll get for your pension. Right. Mine was like $54,000.
That's retarded.
In 39 years, 29 years, I'll be dead. What the fuck is $50,000 going to do for me?
Right.
So I left the city for that. And that's the thing is like they changed the whole pension plan because there's so many people retiring. Correct. There's no funds. There's more, like you said.
You know, there's a lot of people that do. They work a city-funded job for a specific amount of time until they can collect the retirement or do the drop, get the early retirement. Yep. And then they go and apply for another city job and then do the same thing. And now they're collecting 2 fucking pensions.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But the fact that the city has mismanaged their funds constantly rolls back on the constituents. There are 1.5 million people in Philadelphia. It's like 1.57. I looked it up. Of that 1.57, it doesn't account for how many of them are kids. But I will tell you this. Almost 300,000 people are collecting public assistance. There's probably another 200,000 or more that are collecting unemployment. Between the two, not counting disability and Social Security, you've got a third of the people that are there that aren't working and paying taxes.
Right. Damn.
That's a third of your fucking city that's not working, that's not contributing. So you keep trying to come up with all these creative ways to dig into somebody's pocket.
Right.
So let's start off with this. Traffic. The speed cameras on the boulevard.
Tell me about it every day.
So now, I don't know of another 12, and if you guys can tell me, another 12-lane road, highway, fucking byway, boulevard, whatever you want to call it, that has 12 fucking lanes, it's only 40 miles an hour.
I don't know.
It needs it, though. There's too many accidents on the boulevard.
Why do the accidents happen on the boulevard?
It's not because of this. It's not because of the speed. It's because
some of it is part of the speed, but it's people that are doing 70 and 80 miles an hour.
Which, it's the people.
Right.
Curb that.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's not the kind of road that should have crosswalks and shit.
Well, yeah, they put crosswalks.
That's why a lot of people die.
The people that get hit on the boulevard are generally crossing in an area where you're not supposed
to.
So even if somebody's coming through there at 40 miles an hour, if you're crossing at a spot,
you're still going to get fucked up.
Correct. Because you didn't cross at the right spot.
40 miles an hour, you're doing 400 miles an hour. You're still probably going to die.
Right. It's like putting a fucking, in all honesty, it's like putting speed cameras on a railroad.
Yeah.
If you cross the fucking tracks, guess what's going to happen? There's a good chance you could get fucking hit by a train.
Absolutely.
But you throw that up on the boulevard, and really all it is you don't want to pay cops to go out there and monitor it, because that's constantly where you're trying to cut the budget at. But you're going to say that we still need to make up for this tax revenue. So what they come out and do is they brag that they made all of this money off of these speed cameras in the first 2 months. Now you drive the boulevard, I drive the boulevard, and guess what you notice? Nobody drives the boulevard anymore.
Not at all. So now there's fucking traffic everywhere else.
Correct.
You know how many fucking fights I almost got in?
Right.
On a side street because dickheads don't know how to drive?
You didn't solve the problem. You just diverted it somewhere else.
Yeah, now, and here's the downside to that. You're pushing everybody off of the boulevard onto these side streets and these other these other fucking side streets, whatever, and highways, whatever. And now you're basically pushing traffic into residential areas that shouldn't be there.
Right.
Aren't you causing more danger than fucking
Probably
a potential one person a day? I think that's
Probably.
what it was. Like a person a day got like killed on the boulevard or some shit like
It's
that.
definitely not that. That's
Or
definitely
a
way higher.
Higher?
It's definitely high.
Yeah.
But even if
outrageous.
it's 10 a year, let's look at why these people are crossing the boulevard in spots that they're not supposed to. Now, listen,
there's some really fucked up intersections.
I'm not saying that people don't cross at the right spot and people blow red lights. That shit happens, but it's not just exclusive to the boulevard.
No.
First off, fix some of the lights along the boulevard, not the red and lights and green lights. I'm talking about the actual overhead lights. Because there's a shit ton of areas where it's pitch black dark, and if somebody's crossing the street and they're in a dark clothing, you can't fucking see them. Or you know where's a bad spot? Right before Ryan Ave, if you're heading out towards Northeast Philly, and you go down, you start off at one level coming from Tyson, and you go underneath that overpass, and then you come up and you're in a fucking dark spot. And if anybody crosses over there, because you were high up on the hill, you can't see them from a distance.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how fast you're going, it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So like somebody said, well, the medians and this and that, like, they're supposed to be there to add more crosswalk, add more lights if you want to. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But you can't have a fucking road that's 12 lanes wide at 40 miles an hour.
40 miles an hour is like nothing.
Bro, side streets are 35.
I look, when they first put these cameras on,
yeah,
I caught 6 of them in my truck before I had to pay for them, right? The warnings.
Yeah.
6 of them in my truck, 4 of them in my Jeep.
Right.
And 6 of them on my bike.
Right.
Not even thinking my bike. I mean, I cracked the throttle, I throw it in second gear. I'm at 45, 50 miles an hour.
Right.
Not even thinking about it.
I spend my entire time going down the boulevard just making sure that I'm within the speed range so I don't get a fucking ticket.
I'm afraid to go over 45, so I keep my truck at 40. There's people flying by me like, hey, you fucking asshole. Right. And I'm looking at myself, I'm like, I'm a fucking asshole. Like, I'm never going to get to my destination. I'm late for everything. Man.
Right.
It's
just
stupid.
it's a money grab. It has nothing to do, and they hide behind constantly. The city hides behind these public safety issues, the soda tax, this fucking speed cameras on the boulevard, these red light cameras. Fuck, it's all about in the interest of public safety. Nobody needs that. Nobody's asking you for that.
Right.
Here's another one. The construction fucking everywhere.
And it's never finished. Like
never.
They dig up a spot.
Yeah.
Leave the equipment there. And then you don't see them for a month.
Right.
Or 2.
They've been working on... God.
My bad.
No, God.
I was going to say, my thing about when I see, I'm not in the Northeast as much. But what I see is that they do the same roads over every year.
Right.
That's what I don't get. Like, I'm thinking, like, you just did this road last year. There's more roads in the city that need help.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's what y'all see in the Northeast.
Yeah, 100%. It's everywhere where they're constantly doing shit that just doesn't need to be done.
Right. Useless shit. Useless.
So, like, the obvious one is 95. Anybody who's been on 95 the last 40 years has to drive, and I've said it on the show before, you have to drive through that and go, what the fuck, man?
Was there anything wrong with it 20 years ago?
Well, they keep making it wider because they keep saying that traffic and the population's going down. It's not going up.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you're accounting for. It's always since I've been driving, there's always been a bottleneck from Bridge Street to Girard. It's always been that
Absolutely.
way. So you could have expanded this 40 fucking years ago. Instead, you said, let's put another exit on ramp at Aramingo just to make it more congested, because that's the fucking smart thing to do.
Yeah.
We've got an area that's congested. Let's find a way to make it more congested.
Yeah, right. Don't they say simpler is better? Did you learn the hard way?
It's just stupid. So now they're going, oh, we should probably widen it. Like, you've been doing this for fucking 40 years. That stretch of highway of 95, I'm not even kidding. Right from Bridge Street to Girard. You've literally been working on it for 40 years.
Now it's Cotman to Girard.
40 years.
Actually, Cotman to Calla Hill now. Right?
I listen, it might be hyperbole or whatever that I'm saying 40 years. But it's legit like a 30 plus.
I'm 33, and they've been working on it as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
So.
I know since I'm like early teens, like late 11, 12,
Right.
whatever. They've definitely been working on that area of 95. And this is the thing, like they get a specific amount of money every year from PennDOT, not from PennDOT, from the tolls,
Right.
the Turnpike
Yeah,
Commission,
yeah.
which the Turnpike doesn't even run through Philly, but they get like fucking $100 million. And it's a use it or lose it situation. And they keep fucking dumping it into 95, and they're getting overcharged by the companies that are doing the work because that's what they do. Because they know it's job fucking security for the next 4 years or 5 years of the contract. Like somebody said, hey, how long is it going to take? I'm not saying who because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But somebody asked, I have a reliable source. Somebody asked how much longer it was going to take for them to finish this project on 95. And they're like, oh, we got another project that's coming right behind this one, but it should be done in 3 years. And it's like, seriously, how? How does it take fucking 40 years? Like, I don't get it.
And it blows my mind because like they'll start these projects on 95. And I mean, honestly, I don't know how often you travel 95.
A lot.
Okay. When was the last time you seen any activity between Cotman Ave and Bridge Street? Because I've seen like nothing.
So apparently, I think they only work at night.
I used to work night work, and I didn't see shit.
Yeah, then I don't know.
Like that's the thing. Like now
you know what? You're probably
down.
right. It's definitely not night because there's that section where they put up the glass windows to prevent the sound, and the entire length of it, it's like 3 miles, just nothing but dudes tagging it up.
So
it's definitely not at night.
No, it's crazy because like now they're.
Rob told me they got their own security guard for out there now to prevent those dudes from bombing it. Which they're idiots anyway. I mean, you'll get a rep for a couple days, but it literally wipes off. It's like plexiglass.
Yeah. But they find an area to start a project, and then they shut down 2 to 4 lanes for another year with no fucking work. So now you've shut down the access just to fucking cause issues, and you're not even doing anything to solve the problem. Right. Like I remember.
How about when they start a construction project and they decide to do it during rush hour?
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, like you could do what it is that you're doing.
Have you realized that rush hour is no longer like 5 o'clock like it used to be?
Well, you're talking about at night?
Yeah, it's like
so. Rush hour used to be 6 to 8, I believe it is, in the morning, and it used to be 4 to 6.
Like 4 to 6. Rush hour starts at like 2 o'clock now.
I know.
Like you have to, if you got to be somewhere at 5 o'clock, you got to get on 95 at like 1.
Dude, like you've had the conversation all the
go
time where
from
like
northeast to downtown.
Yeah, I've had the conversation before where I'm like, hey, I'm going to leave a little bit later because I want to get, or I'll leave a little bit early so I can get ahead of rush hour.
Right.
And like I think I've gone through there at like 5 o'clock in the morning, driving somebody to the airport, and I'm like, I honestly had no idea there's gonna be traffic here.
Yeah. I used to do it.
Why are people leaving? And everybody's leaving early.
Yeah. See, I used to do it when I was on day work and I worked down the airport. Like I didn't have to be until 7. So realistically, with no traffic and exceeding the speed limit,
sure,
it's a half-hour ride maybe from Cotman Ave or Academy down to the airport. But if I got on 95 at like 6 o'clock, forget about it, bumper to bumper.
But these are all like self-inflicted wounds.
I would have to get on 95 at like 5:15. I'd make it down to work by like 5:40 and then catch an hour nap in my truck because if not, I'd be sitting on traffic for an hour and a half. And
but like these are all like self-inflicted city wounds. Here's another one that's one of my favorite. So I was driving down Walnut Street and I was out by like University City, like 40th, 50th, like somewhere between there.
Right.
So they decided to put speed bumps.
Oh, don't get me started on these fucking speed cushions.
The speed cushions, right? So you're putting these on fucking regular streets, right? Which, if it's dark, you can't see them because they're black on black on black asphalt. So you can't fucking see them until it's too late because you didn't put anything else down. But here's my problem with them. We've been complaining in this city for like 2 years now about the fucking potholes everywhere.
Right, you can't cover the potholes.
Cover the pothole with the fucking speed cushion.
Oh yeah, at least do that. Not put it next to it.
Yeah, like you used to do when you spill shit in your house. Just put a little bit of newspaper over top of it. Cover the potholes with the speed bumps.
Move your mom's table runner just over the scratch you just put on the coffee table.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. I'm with you.
But like your ignorant asses in this city are going to run around and go, "Hey, we're making it safer." By doing the exact opposite of what the people are asking you to do. Fix the fucking potholes.
Yeah, then you have to...
And you go, you know what would be a better idea? Let's go to a completely different area of the city where there's not potholes, and we're going to raise it up.
Yeah, right.
We're going to make it bigger.
Or they put the speed cushion in a spot where you have to go over it, and then you land in a pothole. That's the worst.
Yeah.
Look, I always used to have rims. I mean, I just took a set of 26-inch rims off my truck.
Right.
After driving for a year, I fixed them 3 times. I just said enough's enough because you dodge one pothole and you hit another.
Right.
You know how much money it costs to fucking fix
rim,
one of these rims?
100%.
And because they were custom, every time I got one bend fixed, I had to repaint the whole rim, repowder coat the whole rim.
Not for nothing. That's your fault, dude. Why do you keep doing it?
I like nice things.
So move out to the suburbs. All the money that you spent on rims, you could have bought a $400,000 house.
Probably.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, probably. If I move, I'm moving to like Tennessee. I'm going. I've never been, but I'm going. Actually, I've been. I lied, but
why Tennessee?
I was about to say, why is Tennessee? That's a random spot.
It just looks like that style of living.
So it's ironic that you bring that up. I just had somebody in my car yesterday. They were going back to Tennessee. They were up here for a wedding. And this is one of my favorite things about driving Uber. You meet cool people from all over the place. And this guy played high school football with Derek Barnett.
Okay.
So he's like, I follow the Eagles, and I know, like, it's kind of, your fan base is a little rough sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, it's true.
Yep. That's about the only thing people come here for.
We're not rough.
I'll eat it. I'll own that one. But
we're honest.
Yeah. So I was talking to him about like Tennessee and like the differences. And he's like, Tennessee used to be like a great place, but now it's all transient.
Really?
Like the people that live there now aren't original. They're not regular.
Yeah.
A lot of people in like the early 2000s and even into the late 2000s moved there because the cost of living was so low.
Absolutely. It still is.
It's raising. It's raising
now because of all the attention it's getting. But like I go down south. I go down south probably like once a year. Usually, on my Harley, we'll take a ride out and we ride through. It's not like we really stay much and get to experience the lifestyle, but just the small interactions, the scenery, the slow pace to live in, the fucking Southern hospitality. Like and you don't even have to go to Tennessee.
Right.
I stopped off in Delaware.
It's not like here when you're fucking driving through and you're like, hey, how's it going? It's like, well, fuck that. What time you on, man?
Right.
Like the fuck's your problem?
Right.
Like, all I said was hello, dude.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
On our way home last year, my buddy's bike broke and we found a Harley dealership in Delaware, but it was like down by the Chesapeake. I forget what they call it, the DC something
Beltway,
something down that way. But I was 2 hours away from Philly, and I felt like I was still in like Virginia or Tennessee because the Southern hospitality. I'm like, I'm so close to Philly, but the Southern hospitality was so fucking charming. I'm like, I don't even have to really go 7-8 hours the other way, but I want to. You know what I mean? Like I want to. I mean, it's if I buy.
I'm not one of those people who's like, I'm fucking moving to Canada. Like, it's not even that.
Well,
like I'll never move back to the city.
Right.
Like ever.
Yeah. Once I'm going, I'm going.
So here's I'll summarize the entire thing up, and then we'll get into some of the other issues too, which just. But like, just to summarize, you pay a fucking city wage tax. Because they act like it's a fucking privilege to work there.
Right. Yep.
You're taxing me because it's a fucking it's a privilege. It's not a privilege. There's no jobs. Most people fucking leave and they're working outside of the city and still have to pay that city wage tax because they fucking live there. It's not a privilege to do anything in this city.
Not at all.
So in terms of thinking about like the people, like what does Philadelphia have to offer? If you're outside, you're coming here for school, and you're looking around, what do you want to stay for? Literally, the only thing I can come up with is access to bars. That's it.
That's even gone.
Like listen, if you live in those places like Old City and you live in like downtown, like the party scene is jumping. But once you hit like 28 and you go, takes me 2 days to recover from a hangover still, so I'm out. I'm out on this. Like it's no longer then you're like, I got to get out of the city. I got to move to the suburbs.
Yeah, I mean that's really all it is. Like, and you have to have that's a diverse, set of people that you have to want that style of living to experience that downtown lifestyle. And then it's the pubs and the bars and the little
but
that's
that
cool
shit is
and all,
so,
but you have to go
but it's so short-lived.
I mean,
like in terms of the city and how do you fix the problems, Philadelphia is going to become a transient type spot where people live there for 5 to 8 years and then move.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like it's got that same nostalgia as like New York City. You know what I mean? Like you look at
not
Philly,
even close.
I'm talking people wise, like the
No.
appeal, like the appeal.
No,
You don't think so?
no.
So, see, I think like when, like you said, what does Philadelphia have to offer? What's appealing to other people? And I think like the same
people are willing to overlook fucking dead bodies in the street and paying fucking $3,000 a month for 100 square foot fucking studio apartment in New York. There's no comparison
there's a lot,
whatsoever.
what I'm saying, yes, there's a lot more to offer in New York.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like that appeal to people. It's like when you look at a Philadelphian, you get that roughneck, smart man, the grittiness,
right?
And that's the same thing you get from like a New Yorker. Like it's appealing,
right? But that's not
what
what you see when you go down there.
Oh no, but I'm saying like from the outside in, like that's what's appealing to other people.
I don't think so.
I think it is that.
It's true because if you go anywhere else and you say like you just get love just because you're
from Philly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like,
but I think it's because
when you meet
people
somebody
don't know.
from New York, though, it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, especially when you're younger, you meet somebody from New York, you're like, oh, you know,
I know what he's saying.
You know, it's about that. That's appealing to people from the outside.
So you're saying that it gives you some sort of like
being
not
one of
a
the
mystique,
biggest,
but like
your swag is up.
Yeah,
like just the way you carry yourself, the way you talk. You know what I mean? When you say, when you say John, all that Philadelphia, like the style, there's nothing like it anywhere in the world.
Right. And
but that's appealing. That's appealing when you're younger.
That was my connection to like New York, like saying it's like that same swagger, uniqueness. There's only a couple cities in the country that are like that. You know what I mean?
But that's not a reason
just on a personality and a, you know what I mean?
But that's not a reason to live here.
I was about to say, Steve, like, get me the fuck out of here. Yeah. You're not selling me on Philly right now.
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to
what
leave.
You're saying. Like, there's a like a panache, like a fucking a swagger to it. A swagger is a great word. Just saying, hey, I'm from Philly.
Yeah.
But that like matters for like a cup of coffee. Like it's not a long period of time where once you get to 28, 29, and like you're off and going on your career and you're starting your family and shit like that. Like that no longer has like the fucking the aura of saying, hey, I'm from Philly. Like there's those dudes that live out in like fucking like deep in Delco where they live in fucking Chester County, or even dudes in Montco and Bucks where when they go out of town and people are like, where are you from? And they're like, oh, I'm from Philly. And like if you're standing nearby and they're like, oh yeah, I'm from like Newtown Square. And it's like, bro, that's like 20 minutes outside of Philly. Yeah. That's not you're not from Philly, you're from Newtown Square. Right. But they'll tell you I only say that because nobody's going to know Newtown Square, but they know Philly. Then say I'm from 20 minutes outside of Philadelphia.
When you're not
Stop
from
claiming
Philly,
my set.
Facts. When you're not from Philly, Philly's dope. Like there's so much stuff to do. Like I think I had this conversation like years ago. But if you take all the way up the Northeast and you go all the way down to South Philly, like that's what like over an hour drive. Like Philly's big.
It's not though. It's only 20 miles.
From all the way. I'm talking. So what's the farthest Northeast? Franklin Mills Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly.
Parkwood.
Right?
Yeah.
And then down to Packer Ave.
Yeah, it's 20. It's not even 20 miles.
I guess if you take 95.
Right. Even if you're driving through the city, if you
trying to say this,
listen, don't take the boulevard. If you take the boulevard,
it'll easily take you an hour if you're taking roads. If 95, I give you maybe a half.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. If you're driving through
if you're driving through the city,
route and
if you're driving through the city.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is Philly's big as shit.
It's like, not.
You don't think Philly's big?
I think it's big enough. I get what you're trying to say.
I think that because we grew up here and like we would travel the city as bucks and we would go out and we would do shit in the city. It would take you time to get from spot to spot. Like doing the Uber, like it tells me how long it's going to take from destination to destination. Like right. I know exactly how long it takes to get from spot to spot. And there's ways you're driving through the city to get to those spots. I mean, if you're coming from like North Philly and you're going straight down Broad Street to South Street or to South Philly, it's going to take you a while because Broad Street sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are other ways to go. Like I used to go from like Jefferson Hospital, which is like on 11th Street. I could make it out of the city in 15 minutes, just going straight up 11th or 13th or whatever.
Yeah. And I get that, but I'm saying like when you go to other places, you can go through their whole town in 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just talking about getting from out of center city.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Right. When you go to other states and you go to other cities, they're small. There's not a lot of diversity. It's kind of like just a one way of living. But when you're here in Philly, you can literally go a block over and have a whole different experience. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
It's not even different neighborhoods. Like, you could be in North Philly and have the best poppin' hippie nightlife experience, and then go 4 blocks up, and once you cross 5th Street, you're in the hood. You got to tuck your chain. You got to tighten your sneakers. You might have to run. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You know,
I get all that. But none of what you're saying there is appealing to anybody that wants to come visit here or move here.
No,
so if you're a tourist, let's start off here. Let's start off here.
I think most of the tourists come down for all the historical shit that's downtown.
Right, but generally that's like a 3rd grade trip.
Right.
That's a school trip where you're buddying up, hold each other's hands, and you're crossing the street.
No, there's a lot of history downtown. I mean, we kind of throughout the city, we turn a blind eye to it because we're from here.
Because we did all of that stuff when we were in elementary school.
But these people coming from across.
I've never taken a historic tour.
You never did that when you were in school?
I've never done it. Like, I've never gone to see the Liberty Bell. I've never tried to do Philly as a tourist. Like, I'm from Philly, but I've never tried to look at Philly.
And that's the big problem with a lot of people from Philly is that's how we look at it. Like, oh, it's just another day in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? But there's so much here that the outsiders, they look at it like, I need to go experience that. Like,
no.
If they're in the history and shit, yes, the fuck you do.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to go see history and shit, book a trip to England.
Steve is a fucking asshole,
dude. I'm on it. I said my sciatic is acting up. I'm not in a fucking good way. My thing is, like, once you get past that fucking elementary school type tour, like, I visited all that shit when I was at summer camp.
But it's only an elementary type tour to you because you're from here, so they fucking put that in our brain. But if you're from fucking
you're here for
Louisiana,
no, I got you.
And
I don't know why you would come here from Louisiana.
I don't know either.
Whatever.
But if you're
There's more
interested
history in Louisiana than there is here.
Bad fucking thing. I'm not a historian, okay, bro. But there's reasons that people want to come here.
But you can go through all that history shit and be done it in a day.
Absolutely. I hope you are.
And then you've got 6 days of going, what the fuck else am I supposed to do here? And that's my point. Like, if you're coming here, our nightlife is garbage.
Absolutely.
It's garbage.
It used to be good 10 years ago.
It's garbage.
That's because you would go out 10 years ago. I have no idea what the nightlife is here anymore.
It's literally, it's hipster bars, but it's garbage.
It's definitely true. I still try to go out every once in a blue when my wife
it's
lets
garbage.
the leash loose.
Yeah.
But
our entertainment period here, like, if you're an outsider, you can't even go to one of our sporting events because the fans don't allow that.
Right.
So, like, you couldn't even say, hey, let's go to fucking Philly and, like, watch our team play against Philly and we'll make a weekend of it. No, you're not doing that.
Beat up.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's a danger zone.
Right. So, like, you're not drawing anybody here. Like, my whole point of this is, like, our city has nothing to offer anybody that we're inviting here. Like, nobody's going to leave Philadelphia and go, what a fucking amazing trip.
Right.
They're going to go, that place was a fucking shithole and they had no plastic bags. Right. I have to carry everything around.
Yeah, it's a unique experience.
What a fucking shithole.
I mean,
thanks for visiting.
It is.
There's not, like, honestly, Nate, like, you've lived here your whole life. Mike, you've lived. What are you selling me on?
And I'm not trying to sell.
Some people really don't love the food, though. Like, I'm not going to
food.
No, like, Reading Terminal is historic, so just walking down there is dope, and there's just being exposed to the Reading Terminal is definitely dope. The gallery used to be fun.
Yeah, 30%. Stop it. 30% of the Reading market is like Amish people. You can go to Lancaster and have a much better day.
Yeah.
Making fun of them because they don't use electricity.
No, I'm just trying to think because I'm walking through there in my head because I worked at the convention center. I did some of their IT, so I used to go there like every day, and I loved it. And I'm trying to think, like, you're right. Yeah. Half of it is about half of it. Yeah,
like you can get all of that stuff at other corners. The only thing that makes the Reading market, the Reading terminal, any good, huh?
The Knicks with the roast.
No, you can get the Knicks if you live in Jersey. The only thing that makes it, there's a Knicks in New Jersey.
I was about to. You heard me take a breath, like, what?
I heard you. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
No.
All of those spots
to Jersey. When
you work in Jersey and you're like, hey, do you want to get the Knicks? And they're like, yeah, but I'm not going to the Reading terminal. And they're like, there's one like 4 blocks from here.
Oh wow, never knew that.
Yeah, it's out in it's on the other side of Camden. I think it's in like Haddon Heights or something. It's
where the original would be in Camden.
Yeah,
right.
It's like the other side of like Haddon Heights or something. It's down that way somewhere. It's out that way. But like my point is, the only thing that makes the Reading terminal great and why everybody likes it is because it's condensed. It's all of these great things or great shops that are around the city that are in one spot. So you can hit a bunch of them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in today's day and age, I don't think there's really much that our city offers. And I think it's been that way a long time. It's definitely been depleting. I mean,
but we've got so much shit that we could do here.
Yeah, but the city's poorly ran.
100%. That's where I'm going with this.
And people in the city are fucked up. I mean, look, I'm talking 10, 15 years ago when I was in the prime nightlife clubs. There was clubs on every fucking block. You go downtown, it was an experience. You know, we were a big music city. I'm not saying we're not a big music city now, but people wanted to come here. You can go to a concert. People performed at clubs. Your favorite artists would come and perform at clubs. DJs would come and perform at clubs. Now the festivals are not coming to the city. You know what I mean? Like, and we don't even have that to offer anymore. You go to a club and things are outdated. The whole city's outdated. Everything's outdated.
Yeah.
You know, that's why. And even though we're in this new wave of like what the new generation likes, you know, that's why like a lot of old school pubs and dive bars are doing so well, because that's what they like.
I want to go back and touch on something you said. Which one of you guys said the food?
I did.
So let me tell you something that's pissing me off about the food in the city.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
This just made me think of this, and I was going to bring it up anyway. So you didn't open a gate; it was already open.
And we already know Steve likes food.
I love food.
He was eating a fucking sandwich in the parking lot.
Here's a beef that I have, and I understand that it was a
beef too. It's fucking food all around.
It was a means to an end. I understand this. During the pandemic, those restaurants that couldn't have people eating inside had to figure out a way to be able to keep their doors open. So they were offering, roadside service where they basically constructed these fucking huts that you can go sit in with a heater in there and still eat at your favorite restaurant in January in 20-degree weather. So when you drive through the city, all of these streets had these fucking, like, they're either made of wood or like tin, and instead, like, they would be built where the parking spaces are. Do you know what I'm talking about, Nate?
Say that one more time.
So they had these, like, they're like these shacks almost, where it's like not a cubicle, like
you're talking about the things that they put in the street?
Yeah, these outdoor restaurants.
They're outdoor huts. Like tables.
They're outdoor dining, pretty much.
So when they lifted the ban on restaurants and for the COVID shit, and like you could go back to live in-person dining, and they said you can go in there as long as you're vaccinated, or if you're wearing a mask, but when you're sitting at your table, you can eat. Well, they've never torn any of those down.
No, now they're just in the middle of the fucking street or on the side.
So you just basically
everywhere.
Extended all those motherfuckers' restaurants. And by the way, just so you know, if you're eating in those little seats that you're sitting at are constructed on a public street. If anything were to happen to you in there, the restaurant is absolved. You'd have to sue the city because they don't own that land.
Good point.
It's not the sidewalk. They're building these things in the fucking street.
Right. I remember just a few months ago, fucking what was it down in Center City, right? So a car went right through, killed somebody.
Sure.
Crazy.
Right on. I think.
But like now that all that shit's gone, like those used to be driving lanes or spots where you could park overnight or whatever. But like it's just adding to the congestion. And I get it. I'm sympathetic to the whole fucking COVID situation and people not wanting to close their doors. We're past that. Tear them the fuck down.
Yeah, now people are taking advantage of it.
Fuck yeah, they are.
It's extra seating. It's extra income.
100%. What does John Taffer say? John Taffer from Bar Rescue. He says, you know how much that seat's worth? $10,000 a year. And that's what they're doing. Now it's just, hey, I'm going to count all this extra money. You got it. You're catching back up. You got your SPF money. Like, enough. Tear them the fuck down. Tear them down. I'm done with it.
Well, they might now because ain't nobody gonna be outside when it gets cold.
My mom said they're shanties. You're damn right they are.
Shanties.
No, they got that all figured out. Now, they'll have their fucking heaters out there, the propane fucking lanterns.
They were doing them last year with winter. Like the hardest items you could get are those outdoor heaters.
Yeah, they're gonna take advantage of it 100%.
Hell yeah.
They're gonna milk it as long as they can until they can't.
Yeah, until the city finally
until
that's there to stay.
Until the city.
That's the new way.
Yeah.
I think so.
But what about let's say I open up a restaurant 5 years from now and COVID's a thing of the past, which hopefully by then it is. And then I just go, fuck it. All these other places, I'm fucking serving roadside right now too.
Right.
I'm throwing these fucking
And
these shanties up.
You'll be the one that gets fined, shut down, or whatever.
Right.
And they'll be considered like grandfathered in because
I'll
they
bet
were here
you,
then
and I don't
fucking
know
pay
if
them.
anybody knows the answer to this, let me know. But I'll bet you that the reason these are okay is because they had to pay the city for them.
I'm sure.
The city
That wouldn't
probably had to
surprise
give
me.
them some sort of fucking licensing or street vending, and it's just another way that they put their hand in your goddamn pocket.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For sure.
I mean, one of my dreams was always to own a 24-hour pizza shop. Like when I was in the bar business and the nightlife business.
Your pizza's trash, though. I guarantee you.
My pizza, come on, I'm getting pizza as soon as I leave here. Anyway,
but from somebody else, because that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Because yours is trash.
yeah, I don't have an oven to cook. Leave me alone.
It doesn't matter, even if you did,
Why you gotta talk shit?
because I know that you're
You're
not.
killing my
I
dreams
can
before I
look
can
at
even-
your face and
You're
I can tell
fucking
you that you're
killing
not a
my
pizza
dreams
guy.
before I can eat.
You don't even have
It's
a-
that
you don't even have-
sayada, man.
You don't even have a pizza guy mustache.
A pizza guy mustache.
No, my dad's got the pizza guy
And he
mustache.
fucking
He's
does.
like fucking Tom
And he kept
Selleck
it to
on
himself. He's like, I'm not going to
pizza.
give you the recipe. I'm not passing it down. I'll pass it down to the kid because you don't have the
Nah,
ambition.
I'm definitely a pizza guy.
You're
But
not a pizza guy.
when I was in the nightlife,
What's the best
business,
pizza?
That's a great question. We always do
I don't-
cheesesteaks and stuff.
I don't know. There's none in the Northeast. I'll tell you that.
Where do you think the best pizza is?
I haven't had a lot, but
I'm more disappointed.
I like thin crust.
I go
Yeah,
I
I
go
like thin as
comfort
well.
over quality anymore.
Yeah, I like a
You know
thin
what I'm
crust. So
I know some hood
Lazzaro's
spots.
is good.
Yeah.
Lazzaro's is pretty good. It's pretty decent.
So I like Mimo's Pizza. It's at like 33rd and Hunting Park. Like right at the bottom of
Is that like Nicetown?
yeah, it's like up there.
Okay.
It's like right on the corner. It's big.
Yeah.
When you're coming down like Henry Ave,
I like how I killed my dream. Didn't even let me finish my fucking sentence.
because it's garbage,
Right.
and I'm not even going to allow you to do this anymore.
That's
I'll
fucked
support
up.
a lot of other stuff. You want to write a book?
But see, you didn't
I'm
even
behind
get, you
it.
didn't even get. See, I'm already got a business venture going. You don't even fucking care to listen to me.
About the pizza?
Yeah. So what I was saying is, one of my dreams was to always own a 24-hour pizza shop. But on contrary to what you were talking about,
Right.
because of what COVID has done to the restaurant business, I would never buy a brick. You know what I mean? Like, there's
My
no
guy.
point in buying a restaurant at this point.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's why
COVID
you see a lot
saved you.
of food trucks and everything popping up.
COVID
You know
saved
what
you
I
because
mean?
it's a terrible idea.
It is to buy a restaurant.
No.
But
To
I will
fucking start a
have-
pizza
He had to
place.
clean that up.
I will have. It's not gonna be 20. I will have a pizza truck.
What? A fucking roach
pizza.
coach?
No, a pizza
A
truck.
pizza roach coach?
See, you don't know? Do you know about the Fishtown truck that used to go around? It's an old school ice cream trucks. You sell a carnival pizza. I'm not doing that. But I'm
I
gonna
hope
have-
not.
No.
That's a terrible idea.
No, it's not. It's fucking awesome.
It's not.
I'm gonna have, instead of buying a brick, I'm gonna have a food truck, pizza truck. Nobody does it.
Well,
I've seen pizza,
Pizza
trucks.
trucks. There's
yeah,
only
it's
a
been
couple
done.
in the city.
It's been done.
There's
Yeah,
only
with
a
the-
done a
couple
lot. You
in
want to
the
know why you don't
city.
see them? You want to know why you don't see them?
There's only a
It's a
couple.
failed business venture.
Watch. Guess who's not getting no fucking pizza?
That's fine. You want to know what's a dope ass idea? Have you ever seen
Turning
these?
his mic off.
No. We're talking about pizza. So those roadside trucks that Mike say don't exist. There's a cat out there.
I
that
didn't say
figured out-
they don't exist.
Don't point at me.
There's limited.
There's
Don't point
guys
at me.
out
There's
there.
limited pizza trucks. There's only a handful.
You're not going to revolution. What are you, a pizza disruptor? Relax.
No,
You're not
but
going to
there's
revolutionize
not.
the pizza world. It's your garbage cheese and your shitty dough. You're not going to do it. I'm promising.
Fuck him up today.
There's a guy out there that is he revolutionized pizza from a walking standpoint. He figured out a way to turn the pizza into like an ice cream cone. The dough is the cone.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've
I've
seen
seen
it.
that
and he
Yes.
before.
throws the sauce and
Yes,
the
I've
fucking
seen
cheese inside.
Never
of
had
that.
it, but I've seen it.
And like the dude,
It looks amazing.
it looks really good. Like
Right.
that's the way to go.
Well, I'm not going to disclose our business plan on air. But
Oh, you got
I'll
a
tell you-
partner?
Yes.
So you said
Huh?
R, so I
Yes,
wasn't
yes.
sure if it was,
Is it your kid?
was Steve
No,
included
no,
in
no.
that.
No.
If I am, I didn't know.
But a very beneficial
Uh-oh.
way.
It looks like Jim
Yeah.
said it's garbage.
What's garbage?
What, the pizza cones are garbage?
Yeah, I guess that.
I support Mike's idea. Thanks, Mom. I love you. Anyway,
He said that's not pizza. How is it not pizza? It's fucking dough, sauce, and cheese. Literally, that's pizza.
is a stromboli
Oh,
pizza?
that's what he said.
What's that?
Is a stromboli pizza?
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody just got creative with the marketing and threw a different name on it.
Okay. Is a gizmo?
I don't know what the fuck a gizmo is unless you're talking gremlins.
Well, that's what they call them, right? They call them gizmos.
What the fuck is a gizmo?
You know, a roll with sauce and cheese, like a pizza, but on a roll, like a deli roll. Or
No,
like a sandwich roll.
It's not the right fucking dough.
All right.
It's not just dough. Like it's like there's a
No, it's
type
bread.
of dough.
It's bread. I'm just saying.
That's
I was
a
saying-
hard pass. No,
well, you said a stromboli was pizza, so I want to know if you thought
this is dead ass serious. You can take a piece of fucking white bread, throw sauce and cheese on it, throw that bitch in the oven.
Right.
Pizza.
But it's white bread.
Huh?
But you just said a roll wasn't, right?
Doesn't count. It's not the same thing.
Oh, okay. But a piece of fucking Stroman's is.
I'm just saying anything can be pizza.
All right, Wonder Boy.
Pizza is literally the easiest thing in the world to make, and that's why there's so many pizza shops.
There's one in every corner.
Right, because you don't have to have any fucking talent to make pizza.
And they fucking all suck.
All right, so let's all stop fucking cursing and go back to what's the best pizza. I haven't heard this.
City's too big for best pizza. I don't know.
So I was actually just telling my wife there's a spot out in Norristown that, I mean, I haven't had it in a really long time, but it was really good at one time, called Mama Venenzia's.
Okay.
That was really good. I like Mimo's down in the hood because we used to go there all the time and get pizza while we were working.
When you say the hood, what's the hood? Where's the hood?
33rd and Hunting Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, now I don't know.
I mean, I know that everybody likes that Lorenzo's place.
No, see, Lorenzo's that's a tourist attraction. It used to be good.
It's like the Papagenos of fucking pizza.
And every once in a while, yeah, you get that craving. You're like, let's go down to South Street and let's get some Lorenzo's. And it's got that sweet taste to it, but it's not as good as it used to be 10 years ago. You know what I mean? 15 years ago. And then they commercialized it and they put it inside fucking malls and the stadium, and it sucks. It's trash. But you hit South Street, it's semi decent, but it's nothing to say it's the best pizza at all. I mean, the hood spots were always, to this day, one of my favorite pizzas was Father and Sons under the L. You know what I mean? But that is a long time ago. Now there's not much out there. Like I said, I go comfort over quality because even bad pizza is good pizza.
Sure.
But if you're going to spend your $10, $15, $20 on a fucking pizza, you might as well just fucking know you're going to enjoy it.
I mean, I'm out in the suburbs now and we don't have good food out here. Like, that's an honest God thing. Like, we talk about, like, there's a lot of people in my area that are from the city originally. We talk about, like, where's the best place to get a cheesesteak out here? There is no, it's just fucking, they're garbage out here. But, I mean, pizza-wise, pizza's pizza.
Yeah.
Like, there's a place around here that you can order, but they do pizza like 10 different ways.
Yeah, it's never the same.
But no, I mean, like, it's true. Same thing 10 different times, 10 different pizzas. But, like, you can get, like, the Sicilian, like the deep dish, where it's the thick. I like the thick, though. Like, out of the chains, like, I've never had Domino's.
Never
in my life. 40 plus years, never once had a Domino's.
Domino's is upgraded big time. Like, I remember having Domino's and I thought it was the worst. You know, the trains like Pizza Hut, Domino's, Little Caesars, when it was all the commercial ones. But Domino's now is actually, like, I don't get Domino's at all, but it's not bad.
I haven't had Domino's in a long time.
So somebody says Cafe Carmela on Home Ave, real Italian style. They don't use shredded mozzarella. They use real mozzarella.
Yeah, I haven't had there.
Jimmy said, he said a lot of stuff that's disrespectful to me.
I was about to say, why do you say the other thing? I was waiting for you.
He said Father and Son and Four Sons is great pizza. My brother-in-law was still driving down to K&A to get it.
Yep, absolutely.
And then he said, first he said this, but he said, we're taking food suggestions from a guy who needs his ribs cut off the bone.
Ooh, this shots fired.
It is shots fired. There's some other things. Listen, I'm not going to get into all the depth of my food stuff. Like, I've literally gone out with my wife to, like, restaurants and, like, we'll both get, like, a slab of ribs.
Yeah.
And I cut all the meat off the bone, and here she is, one bone in one hand, fucking sauce all over her face, and it's embarrassing. Like, she's like, you're fucking my date tonight. Like, yeah, like I don't like the shit. I don't like it all over my fingers. You know what I mean? Like, I want to try to keep it neat. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Well, don't look at me like that.
I just housed fucking 20 Karen's hot wings yesterday, covered in sauce. And
I get when I eat wings, I get the sauce.
So how much do you eat wings with gloves?
No, I get sauce on the side.
He eats dry wings and he eats. Are you serious?
I dip them.
I could see Steve with the fucking corn on the cob holders trying to eat a chicken wing.
I would.
What about Cheetos?
Did he ask? Who asked about the Cheetos? So my mom asked the Cheetos. So it's not Cheetos. It's cheese curls, because you can't do this to Cheetos because they're harder. But with cheese curls, I'll throw them all into a bowl and eat them with a fork.
Are you serious?
I don't want to get the cheese on my fingers.
Look, even when you try, I'm a sucker for the honey cheese curls, right?
Yeah.
And I'll eat them. And even when you try to just use two fingers, you try to, be neat with it.
You can't.
You come out, your fucking knuckles are covered in cheese and everything.
Listen, I'm not the only one. They actually make like a tool now that you can put over your fingers. It's like fucking, they're like cheese. They're like Cheeto condoms. Like, you put them over your fingers, plastics. That way when you dip in there, it doesn't get all over your fingers.
You thought
Like,
about
I
it?
don't know if no, I didn't. There's somebody else already invented this.
So-
Jimmy busts
so-
my balls about it all the time.
So this is just a pet peeve. You don't want any. You don't want the
calls it- he
sauce or the
calls
cheese
cheese
on your
curls.
hands.
He calls cheese curls Kensington shrimp.
So this is just because you don't like the sauce or the cheese on your fingers. or anything?
100%.
It's not like a germ type thing, right? It's
No,
just
no, no.
more of a mess type thing.
Bro,
Is that all food?
I swear to God, I will take a shit in a porta potty at a fucking Sixers
Well, no,
game. I
I
don't
used
even
to.
care.
I used to work with a
It's
guy.
not germs.
I used to work with a guy who was very germophobic, and like when we would get lunch or whatever,
Yeah.
he would like say McDonald's fries.
Uh-huh.
He would never touch his food. Like he would take the fries and he'd eat them like what I
Out
mean,
of
like
the
pour them in his
container, yeah.
mouth. If he had a cheeseburger or a sandwich or something, he made sure like he would the wrapper. He never
Well,
touched
did you work
it.
outdoors?
No, we worked in the fucking tent shop, cleanest place you can work.
Okay.
But I mean, he was in jail for a while. Maybe that's I don't know. Maybe he
Right.
I don't know. But
I mean, this comes up on the show from time to time about my fucking my weird eating stuff. I don't know what it is. I've never. I try to be neat and mannerly when I'm eating, and like I like things that you can't be neat and mannerly when you're eating.
well, see, it all depends. Like if you put some wings in front of me and they're
Yeah.
good wings,
Yeah.
I'm coming up looking like a savage. I will have
But
sauce on
let
my
me ask you a
face, my
question.
beard. I don't.
I got you,
care.
and then you wipe it all off in the napkin
And
or
I'll
whatever.
lick my
But
fingers and all.
like, to me, I've just never been that person. That's just like, I don't want to have that shit all over my face or all over my hands and fucking get it all over my
No.
clothes and stuff. Like, I've just always been a neat eater.
Fuck that.
But I'm also not one of those people either. Like when I say a neat eater, like my food can touch. Like I don't care if it's like those
See,
people are
me-
weird.
Well, then I'm
Those
weird, 'cause
people are
there's
fucking weird.
Some things I can't let touch.
Oh, so you're fucking judging me.
Not
Like
like
you're one of those fucking weirdos.
no, like my food could touch, but I can't like mix. I don't know. Like, and I am the weirdo that'll like I'll eat like the side for like I'll eat all of something before I touch the next thing.
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
no. I know exactly what
You
you're
know
talking
what I'm
about. Yeah.
Like if I got mac and cheese
eat it
and
in order.
broccoli or something, like I'm eating my mac and cheese before that shit gets cold.
So
Then I
you
might
don't-
move on to the broccoli
don't
before I hit
try-
the chicken.
No, you don't try like I'm gonna get a little bit of this. I'm gonna try a little
No,
bit of that.
I'm like
gonna
that
do
too.
that.
No, I like
No.
that. I eat one thing at a
Yeah,
time.
Really? You guys
Yeah.
are psychopaths.
Like I'll eat all the mac and cheese before
Why,
I touch the
though?
chicken.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? I don't
Because
know.
you don't want to mix flavors?
Maybe.
Because it's literally gonna wind up in the same exact spot.
Yeah, maybe it's the taste. But see, I'm real weird. Like I don't eat a lot of anything, and sense and visual will turn me off. Like I won't eat. Yeah, like
What?
yeah, like if I see something that just doesn't look appealing, like I don't eat cheese, but I eat cheese.
So I'm the same way with cheese, but cheese is probably the only thing I'll agree with you on.
Like I will fuck up a grilled cheese sandwich if I got some soup and I
Do you
can
know
dip
how-
it, but I can't eat a piece of cheese.
Do you know how when people have like as a kid, like they have trauma, like a traumatic
Yeah, I
event?
think I ate way too much cheese as a kid, and it disgusts me.
So that's what it is.
Mm.
When I was a kid, did you ever see the Kraft single slices?
Yes.
So they come 74 in a box.
Yeah, and you
my
fucking
mom,
peel them open.
my mom left one unattended in the fridge, and I was like 4. And I woke up in the middle of the night and individually undid all 74 and just
Oh,
fucking
fuck.
housed it. I couldn't shit for like days. But I ate the entire thing, and then I ate a 1 pound chocolate bunny, and I left the cat in the fridge. As, like, so like, and my 4-year-old mind was like, well, if the cat's there, she's not gonna realize the other shit was missing. But there's wrappers everywhere.
right?
But ever since then, like, I'll eat a cheesesteak, but I don't prefer it. I
Right.
prefer to have a plain
Well,
steak.
see, for the longest time, if I got a cheesesteak, I would get with mozzarella cheese.
Mhm.
Now, as I got a little older, I'm like, all right, you can put American on that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it.
But to me, like-
starting
So
to
you don't eat
try-
you don't eat a cheesesteak, Steve?
So I mean I will, but my preference would be a plain steak. Same thing with burgers. Like,
burgers. I'm no
whenever
cheese on a
somebody
burger.
somebody
Yeah.
says let me get a cheeseburger, like it pisses me off when I go to like a fast food place or whatever, and like I'll order a hamburger. I'll go, hey, can I get 2 hamburgers with no onions, because I don't like onions either. And they'll go, would you like cheese on that? And it's like, no, motherfucker. If I wanted cheese, I would have
would've
asked for a
said
cheeseburger.
right?
Or if I go, can I get a plain steak sandwich? And I'll go, you want cheese on it? And it's like, no. If I wanted a fucking cheesesteak, I would have said, can I have a cheesesteak?
right, absolutely,
Like cheese is an addition. It's not the meal.
right.
So like when people, like when you go to Dunkin' Donuts or
I
coffee place,
disagree with that part on like
What's
a
that?
on a cheesesteak.
what?
It's called Philly cheesesteak, not Philly steak.
No, I got you. But
Okay.
if you fucking look at the steak, it's called steakums. It's not called cheese steakums. But we can argue about that forever. The cheese is extra. It's something else that you put. Like
I think it's a standard. It's a standard.
It's not.
It's a standard. For the cheesesteak, the burger you can have, because I know people like bison burgers.
Do you know why they started putting cheese on cheesesteaks?
Oh God.
It's to mask. It was to mask the taste of the fucking cheese, or of the meat, because it was cooked improperly, or it was fucking 60 days old and it was like shit. It was garbage. Like you know how like you'll throw something on there to fucking.
Is this true?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
I'm about to say he's guessing. I was like, there's no way he looked that up.
No.
Like it's spoiled.
I know the answer is true because I've seen his fucking.
Like they used to do,
the corner of his lip goes up when he lies.
It's like when they used to fucking throw like all that like rot gut whiskey, like when they were going through like prohibition. Yeah. They would literally throw whatever flavoring they could in there just to hide how bad it tasted. Like you're drinking poison. Like it would be like 6-day-old spoiled meat. And the only way that they could get it past you is if they fucking threw some cheese on it.
Okay. I'm with you. Kind of.
I'll bet you that's the case.
Okay.
You figure they've been making cheesesteaks for like 100 years, right?
I'm sure at some point somebody did that, but I don't think that was
I
don't think that was the reason why.
Oh, they did. They definitely did.
Okay.
But to me, cheese has such an overpowering taste. It's stronger than the meat. So if I get a cheesesteak or a cheeseburger, all I taste is cheese. I don't actually get to enjoy whatever it is that I ordered. So I might as well just get a fucking grilled cheese or a cheese sandwich.
No, that's not true.
And for me, I'm saying that my eclectic taste bud, my mature palate, that's what I get out of it.
There's a difference between a grilled cheese.
Unlike you guys with your hood rat swill
and a cheeseburger.
So steak. How do you eat your steak? Like steak, like well done.
Medium rare. I like it. I get it medium, just because I feel like I'm gonna fuck up my body if I get it any more raw. Like I would do steak tartare, which is the straight up raw.
Right, yeah, no, I'm good.
Where they just mix it with some seasonings and shit. Like I would probably do that.
You guys have never done that?
I would. Have you ever done tartare?
Yeah, for sure.
No, is it good?
It's all right. It's chewy.
I'm definitely.
So I've heard that like if you eat too much of it, you'll get sick.
Yeah, it's not like I go out and get it all the time, but I've had it before. Like it would only be at like a premium steakhouse.
That's the only thing that prevents me from doing it.
Really?
Like I've eaten it. Like so, I'm one of those where when I cook a steak, I really only need I just need it to be warm.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? Like I could do the tartare if you just heat it up. Like I don't need it to be cooked. I just don't want it to be cold. Does that make sense?
I get what you. Let me ask you boys this.
I was a well no pink for the longest time. Hitting the Brazil once, a little too much blood turned me off. You know what I mean? And as I got a little older, I'm cool with like what's that? Not completely well. Would that be
medium well?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Which is cool, a little pink, whatever. And
so, what's the difference between like whenever I order a steak, and I never know if I'm doing this right, which I probably should ask, but is there a difference between medium rare and medium well? For sure. Because I never all I ever ask
medium well is
I gotcha.
Like,
but whenever they ask me how I want my steak cooked, I just say medium.
No, so you're just gambling, and you don't care.
I'm totally gambling.
So you don't care.
No. There's so I.
Is it medium rare, medium well? Is it an addition?
I actually I'm in a barbecue heavy. So with the flavors of steak is just like it's just the temperature. Right. But when you take like a really good piece of steak, like it's really good for a big like a nice piece of steak, like a tomahawk, filet mignon,
right?
Like a nice size ribeye. Those, porterhouse, those pieces of steak, when that flavor profile, like you'll take it off a little bit early because the meat cooks like 5-10 degrees higher.
Right.
So like, that's why sometimes it's off a little bit, but I think it's like, I think well done is like 145 or something like that. But no, there's a difference.
For those of you that are watching from home, there's a technique where you can take the palm of your hand and you can work your way in, and it'll tell you how done a steak is.
Did you just make that up too?
I swear to God, it's true story. You can Google this. So, like, the closer you are to your wrist,
right?
Like if you stuck your finger in the steak, that's how done you can tell. The palm, like down here on the bottom of your wrist here, it's hard. Feel it. Feel the bottom of yours.
Oh, okay.
And as you work your way up towards your thumb, you can feel how much softer it gets. And that tells you what the level of doneness is just by the touch.
Okay.
You don't believe me. I swear to
don't.
God, it's a thing.
I'm over here poking
But you
myself
wanna-
in the hand like an idiot.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm behind the glass. I did the same shit. Like, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking
I'm like, my
about?
whole fucking hand is hard as a rock. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
You're flexing your hands when you're trying to do this?
No, I'm just.
Hold on, you can
Just
flex
suck
your
that way.
hands?
It's
How you-
not, dude. That's fucking soft.
Tell him, Steve again.
He
You're
just wanted to
soft.
That's
touch me.
soft, bro.
Just wanted to
You're
touch me, that's
soft,
all.
Well,
Are-
hold on. I wanted to
are
ask
you
you
a-
boys something about
yeah.
the cheesesteak thing real quick. Has any of you had the $100 cheesesteak downtown?
No.
No, and I
No.
don't think I would either.
No, I get disgusted when I pay $20 for a fucking Steve.
Yeah,
Francis
I know,
steak.
What
right.
makes it a $100 cheesesteak?
What is it? I think
Are they
it's,
using Kobe beef?
yeah, it's Kobe beef.
Okay. Have
And
you ever had Kobe beef?
Yes, absolutely.
So I've had like really good cuts of steak from like Morton or Capitol Grill, like the higher end like steakhouses.
Mhm.
I've never had Kobe beef, and I'm not so sure that I would like it.
I would
Like the
disagree.
marbleization, like I feel like it's a fattier cut of meat. Am I right in that?
So there's a Wagyu. There's the best steak is the Japanese Wagyu.
Right.
I forget the grade on it off the top of my head, but what it is just it is just the way the marble swirls. So when you look at a ribeye, you can just see some of the swirl. But the way like some of that Wagyu meat, especially Japanese, you don't want to ever get Australian. Like Australian is bullshit. But if
Right.
you get the Japanese Wagyu steak,
And the only thing that's different about it is they're grass fed, right?
they're grass fed. It's obviously in Japan, but the way
Look at me
that
like I don't know shit, Mike. He's looking at me all shocked, like I'm fucking, like I bullshit my way through everything.
I absolutely think that you know exactly what you're talking about. I'm eyeballing you up and down. I'm like, yeah, this man knows his food. That's all.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But yeah, no, just the way that they pasteurize and just the way the marbling goes through, like every slither and every slice of meat has just a nice trim of fat on it, which gives you your flavor.
What
So-
do you think about? Because obviously you're a food guy.
Yeah.
You ever seen the videos of that Salt Bay cat?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. With the way that he treats the steak at the table, where like he like over dramatic, I'd punch that motherfucker right in the mouth. I don't even care if he's got a knife in his hand or not. But like he'll come out and it's like, oh, I wrapped this steak in fucking gold flake. Like you already just turned me off. You fucked my steak up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then like he tries to drop the salt down his fucking arm. Like, no, I don't want to touch in your fucking dirty arm. Am I right? And like he tries to like make it like this spectacle. And like I see these people that are paying like hundreds of dollars to have salt jerk off fucking drop his salt
jerk off.
down on your fucking steak. Like you're ruining it.
Oh,
That's
I watched Gordon
Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay. Like literally he goes, this is how you make the perfect steak in like 3 minutes. And like I watched it and I went, that's a man whose steak I would eat.
Right.
Like
Are
it was
you
very basic. He was like, I'm gonna throw a sprig of herbs in there,
Yeah.
little bit of garlic. He's
Garlic,
like butter.
pepper, salt.
And he's like, I'm just
butter,
gonna
olive
baste
oil.
this bitch for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it came out and I was like, bro, I've been missing putting butter on my steak forever.
Oh wow, you don't put butter
I
on
do
your steak?
now.
Oh, I'm about to say Jesus.
I never put butter on.
Oh,
Oh
bro,
my God.
change
I'm
it.
not trying
That'd
to-
change your life,
here's
dog.
here's something new that I did. Like London broil, when you have a bigger family, London broils are always good because you can cut it down to feed a bigger. So we'll get like a big ass London broil
Right.
and we'll cook it. So what I started doing was London broil, because of the cut of meat, there's a special way that you're supposed to cook it in order to get all the flavor out of the meat. But I changed the entire game for the family and we love it. So what I do is I cut it into slices and then I fry it in a pan with just butter. So it cooks and it almost boils in its own juices and butter, and
Okay.
it's ridiculous.
Gotcha.
Go for it.
I'm gonna try it.
You should.
I'm gonna try it.
Cooking a steak with butter.
Are you a steak sauce guy?
Mm-mm.
Ketchup,
Hell no. Nope.
barbecue sauce. I'm a
My
barbecue
kid
sauce
almost
on
lost a tooth
every-
one day when he broke out the steak sauce. I said, two things that you're doing. One, you're eating steak incorrectly. It's incorrect. And I said, and two, it's very disrespectful to me who made that fucking steak to tell me that you're going to drown it in that bullshit right there so you don't have to taste the quality that I put into it.
See, when it comes to steak, I'm a let me taste the quality, you know, the whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely a dipper in barbecue sauce. Like I don't drown it in but I'm a barbecue sauce like barbecue sauce, burgers, cheesesteaks,
Sure.
like whatever.
I guess that's why you want to go to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well,
So
I want to go to Tennessee because I'm like, look, I'm a city boy through and through on everything that we've talked about today, but I'm like a confused like gangster. Like 1 minute I'm gangster rap, next minute I'm singing country songs on fucking Instagram. Like I'm just confused.
I don't know
one of
what we
those-
talked about today. To be
I don't
honest,
know. We were just all
I
over
think
the
you had a
fucking
whole
show.
sheet of stuff, Steve, and you
I
might
had
have
it
got
all.
through the first sentence.
no, I got it all.
That's all.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how we work. We just
I touched on all the things about the city that are pissing me off.
there was something we
And
actually
the-
talked about earlier in the week that we wanted to say. I don't even fucking remember what it was.
It wasn't the thing in the train, was it?
I mean,
Okay.
I did want to end on that, like the crime in the city and how bad it is, but just a real quick touch on that. And then the situation that happened in the neighborhood that Mike and I grew up in. There was a shooting outside of Lincoln High School.
Oh, today I heard that. I seen that on my way.
So
here,
there was
actually.
a beef between some like 20-year-old guy and like a 16-year-old kid. The 20-year-old pulls out a gun and fucking shoots him, and a fucking 61-year-old man who just happened to be driving by at the wrong time gets hit in the head and fucking dies.
Really? See, I didn't even see all that.
That's
I just seen
fucking
that there was a
nuts,
shooting
man.
out
Yeah.
front of Lincoln. I didn't even know the backstory.
Like the city and the way that it is now, like with like there's so many people that are running around that have no value for life whatsoever.
None.
And like the repercussions for it aren't enough for you to go, like he wound up, there was 2 off-duty cops that were right there that saw him do everything and immediately pulled their guns and were like, whatever. But like the dude that was on the train, did you hear about the situation last week?
Yeah, this is
I'm not
fucking
sure.
despicable.
So
man.
the
Refresh
dude-
my memory.
So I don't even want to focus on what he did. It's the other stuff around it that really bugged me.
there's cowards.
So guy's on a train and he sits down next to this woman that's on a train. They're heading towards 69th Street. It's
Okay.
last Wednesday, 10 o'clock. And the guy just, he reaches over and starts touching the girl. And the girl is like, no, like telling him no to stop. My man just attacks the girl and starts fucking raping her right on the train. There were people within arm's length of this dude, literally sitting right there and across and did nothing.
Yeah, I would have killed somebody.
Somebody got on at the next stop that worked for SEPTA and immediately called the police. 3 minutes later, when it got to 69th Street, they rushed the fucking train and caught the guy in the act doing it in the middle of it. But the people that were fucking sitting right next there, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No.
Like-
cowards. They're cowards. That's what it comes down to. They're cowards.
Is it that they're scared or that they just don't care?
Both. They're
I-
cowards.
Yeah.
I heard they were filming it too, weren't they? Somebody like
Well, that's the age we live in. The age we live in is, look, I'm from the era where you see something not right. I mean, I'm from the era where if a guy was walking down the street and he fucking was getting aggressive with his girl, I was going and smacking his mouth. I don't even know you. I'm from that era. You see something wrong, you stop it. You don't. We're in this generation where first thing people do are pull out their phone, they record it. I caught a lot of flack once. My pregnant wife went to get her nails done around the corner. I'm laying in bed. I hear what sounded like a fucking jackhammer here, a block over where she was. A neighbor tried to shoot another neighbor with a fucking assault rifle.
Yeah.
I caught flack because I grabbed my gun and ran towards the gunshots. Only thing in my mind is, first, my pregnant wife, but second, someone's getting fucking shot. What if that was your mom, your dad, your brother, and you ran away from it? Why this person has a chance to still fucking live? That's the mind I come from. I see somebody doing wrong, I try to stop it. People today, they pick out their phone. They want that viral moment. They want that fucking celebrity status because they caught something on camera that nobody else did, and it's pathetic. I mean,
so the videotape, and I mean, I've seen instances where people are getting rolled on, and I've jumped in it to stop it from getting worse than it is. Like, I don't have beef. I'm not a fighter. I don't want to fight anybody. And I mean, I don't carry
wrong
a gun.
Is wrong
like,
and right is right.
Correct.
I carry my gun. Don't leave my fucking hip.
That's not. I mean, I'm not
I'll
that
use
guy.
these
But I'm
before
not
I
going to
pull my
knock
gun.
anybody or say anything bad about anybody that does. The way that shit happens with the videotaping, like the first example, I mean, in schools, like they should. First off, the punishment that goes along with these things, like there should be moral obligations as people that says you shouldn't be able to do this, and there's a moral fine. Like, make the crime, like, sure, these two people just got into a fight, but you decided to videotape a crime.
You're just as
that's a
guilty.
crime.
Yeah, I
that's
think
a
that's-
crime
I
as
think
well.
you're
Yeah, I was
just
saying
guilty
that
in
too.
that.
I think that the people who videotape the rape should be charged.
Right.
Yes.
as accessories.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, if you know if you had a conversation or knew somebody or even witnessed and didn't say anything, if you watch somebody murder somebody, that's conspiracy for murder. You're going to jail and doing the same sentence as
but
the
there's
person.
not enough of a repercussion like when an assault happens.
Right.
If one kid or two kids roll on another kid and you videotape it and you're laughing as it happens, you're just as culpable.
Yeah,
whether
I
you
think
know
so,
them
too.
or you're involved or whatever. The fact that you're sitting there videotaping a crime, however the crime is committed, whatever. The first example, we can end on this because I'll go off on this all night, was the Boston Marathon bombing, where they fucking set off those crock pot bombs. The fucking, I think they were Russian, Ukrainian, whatever. But all I remember is like after it happened, like seeing like all of these like viral videos of people walking around, and it wasn't like reporters, it was just people walking around videotaping like body parts and dead bodies on the side of the street, people literally bleeding to death, asking for help, and they're fucking videotaping it. And it's like,
it's pathetic.
Dude, there should be no video of that whatsoever.
Right.
There should just be stories of people being fucking heroic and helping people. Like I'm okay if I don't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see it.
Right.
I'm cool if I didn't see it. Like, you didn't have to record that moment.
Absolutely. And
I would have been happier if you just fucking did the right thing.
I mean, this phone has ruined people's morals, priorities, and everything. I mean, I can tell you a time I witnessed a fucking really bad car accident. And I mean, we were one neighborhood going to fight another neighborhood. And as we're walking down Cotman Ave with this big fucking car accident, it was a 5-car pileup, and there was like body parts.
Yeah.
It wasn't, hey, phones were out, but it wasn't, hey, let's take pictures of shit. It was like our beef stopped and we ran in a fucking Cotman Ave stream of blood helping people.
Yeah.
You know, this poor fucking girl was severed at the hip. We're trying to fucking help her. She's still screaming for help. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't pick up my phone and show everybody on fucking MySpace or Facebook, whatever was around back then. And that's just, people aren't built like that anymore. People, they just want the validation. I mean, look how many incidents we had with the police and this. Now you watch a guy going fucking crazy, and instead of trying to calm your boy down before he gets shot, you fucking videotape him because you think it's funny that he's disrespected. And it's not even a cop thing; it's a people thing.
Smitty from Santa Boot first said they had 3 girls jump a girl on Friday, and 5 of them just stood there and videotaped. He said they suspended the kids who videotaped it because they're tired of it. Guilty by association. Our policy now is if you videotape, you are also getting suspended. Phones and social media have killed people's moral character. And it's probably the best way to sum it all up.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
It has killed your moral character 100%.
Absolutely the truth. I mean, it's
morally bankrupt people. But that's what the environment of the world has become today. You'd rather be famous for videotaping it and have the video go viral
instead of be respected for doing something
heroic.
Yeah, heroic. I can't say the word. It's a character thing. I mean,
we got to get out of here. We got I don't mean to cut you off, but we ran a little late tonight, so you can catch us each and every week for riveting conversation like tonight. Next week we're going to attack Detroit. We'll see you in Detroit. I don't know. I just picked it.
Okay. I was gonna talk about this 13-year-old boy who shot a Snapchat rival. Did you hear that one?
Save it for next week.
Next week.
All right. See you guys next week. Monday, 7:00.
Goodbye.